Cinderella and the Glass Forest. Everyone knows the tale of Cinderella, the pumpkin coach, magical gown, and of course the sparkling glass slipper. But have you ever wondered why, when the clock struck midnight, everything vanished except that single slipper? Perhaps the story you know isn't the true one. There is an older, quieter tale, one that begins not with magic, but with sorrow. Cinderella once lived a gentle life filled with dreams and simple joys. After losing her beloved father, her days turned gray, shadowed by the cruelty of a stepmother whose harshness grew sharper each passing day, and two stepsisters whose envy tore at her happiness. Yet Cinderella remained kind, holding on to hope with quiet resilience. On the night of the royal ball, Cinderella stood trembling, her carefully sewn gown ripped apart by jealous hands. Her dreams shattered around her like glass. Unable to bear the weight of her sadness, she fled her home, tears streaming as she stumbled through the darkened woods. Hours passed unnoticed until, with her sorrow spent, Cinderella found herself in a part of the forest she had never known before. She looked around with wonder. Every tree, every leaf, every stone beneath her feet sparkled gently in moonlit crystal, creating patterns of delicate enchantment. The forest breathed quietly, as if made from whispers. At its center stood a humble cottage of clear, polished glass. Drawn forward by curiosity and need, Cinderella knocked softly on its door. An old woman appeared, wise eyes bright with ancient mysteries. "Dear child," she said gently, "why do you weep so deeply?" Comforted by the woman's presence, Cinderella recounted the story of her destroyed gown, the cruel stepsisters, and the royal ball she had so long dreamed of attending. "Perhaps," the woman spoke softly, "I might lend you what you seek." A gown spun from the clearest glass, slippers woven with threads of moonlight, and a carriage crafted from the stars themselves. But heed my warning. All borrowed from the glass forest must return by midnight, without fail. With gratitude and wonder, Cinderella accepted these magical gifts. Transformed, she appeared radiant, a vision of beauty reflecting grace and gentle strength. She rode forth to the palace, heart soaring, filled with newfound joy. At the ball, Cinderella danced gracefully, enchanting the prince and all who saw her. They shared whispered conversations beneath the palace chandeliers, and in each other's company, they found a rare harmony, feeling as though their hearts had long known each other. Yet as midnight approached, the distant tolling of bells drew Cinderella sharply back to her promise. She hastily fled from the prince's arms, stumbling on the palace steps and leaving behind a single shimmering glass slipper in her panic. Returning breathlessly to the glass forest, Cinderella trembled as she confessed her mistake. The old woman's eyes saddened, her voice heavy with sorrow. "The slipper you have lost will distort how the prince sees you, as though looking through flawed glass." Days passed as the prince tirelessly sought the mysterious woman he had lost, carrying the precious slipper from home to home. When he finally arrived at Cinderella's door, the slipper fitted perfectly, yet confusion clouded his eyes. "It fits," he murmured, uncertain and distant, "but you are not the one my heart remembers." Heartbroken, Cinderella seized the slipper and fled once more, this time determined to rectify her error. Hours turned to exhaustion as she searched desperately for the glass forest. Yet the magical place eluded her, lost to her now. At last, weary and sorrowful, Cinderella placed the slipper upon the ground in the deepest part of the forest, whispering into the night, "Please forgive me." She stood bravely, prepared to face whatever consequences awaited her. In that quiet moment, the air around her seemed gently to shimmer, and through her tears, Cinderella glimpsed the glass forest shining softly once more, a fleeting glimpse of forgiveness and grace. She turned, gathering courage as the prince approached with his guards. His gaze, however, was no longer clouded. He saw her clearly, and with sudden recognition, his eyes brightened warmly. "Now," the prince said softly, his voice gentle and certain, "now I truly see you." Hand in hand, they left the darkness of the woods behind, hearts renewed. Though the story later changed in telling, their truth endured. Finding the courage to correct one's mistakes and stand bravely in honesty brings clarity and genuine happiness to life.